Hi guys. Today's class is going to be predominantly, a stretching class. It won't be maybe throughout the body, but we'll be doing it through nice, gentle movement. We want to make sure that, especially if we're feeling really tight from being at home more and sitting more or working in the yard and things like that, or if you're doing this class right when you've woken up or right before bed, you want to make sure that you're always stretching and moving with warm muscles and your body is in a warm place, like temperature-wise, internally. So that's going to be why in the beginning, we will warm up the body a little bit. So if you're expecting like a totally chill class, it won't be exactly that, but it'll be really nice. And I promise that at the end, you will feel a lot better, a lot freer in your body, and hopefully, especially through your spine, your ribs, and all this kind of stuck fascia and connective tissue and tight muscles that we kind of feel all through the center of the body and kind of into the back through the body. So let's just start by taking a couple deep breaths together. You can either do this in a seated position or on your back with your feet on the ground and your knees up. So just start by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more like that. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Just take this last little moment here before we get into the flow of class to just notice where you're holding any tension in your body. I want you to always try to take a scan of how you feel at the beginning of class and then revisit that at the end of class and see how this movement really helps your body feel. That's how we get to, one, really love building the habit of yoga because we love how it makes us feel, and two, how we can tell which moves will really help with what we have specifically going on in our bodies. So take one last breath here and just kind of sides of the body, like it feels like your lungs are having trouble expanding. You feel tightness in your back. So when you breathe into your belly, it feels really restricted. Just notice that. Notice how the hips feel, even if you're lying on your back. Good. And then we'll come down to our back. Today, we're going to need a block and a strap for class. If you don't have a block, we're only going to need one block. So you can use a big book. You can use several books stacked on top of each other. And then if you don't have a strap, you can use a resistance band or a sweatshirt. So you can kind of take the bulk of the shirt around your foot or whatever we're going to do and use the sleeves. So that's kind of like a really nice backup option if you don't have yoga props. All right, come down onto your back. Lay all the way down. Place your feet on the ground. First, we're just going to get a little bit of length and openness through the back, and then work on turning on the glutes, just gently, nothing too intense today. Press down through your feet, curl your toes gently into the mat or into the floor. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, just lightly. Press down through your feet and lift your hips up. Try to do a nice low bridge today. So we are going to warm up the body, but we're taking this class a little bit slower, going to move nice and slow. Hold some things a little longer, and just kind of relish in the feeling of release. Reach your hands up to the sky and interlace your fingers together. Keep pressing down towards the back of your knees so you feel your glutes lightly tone. Once you've interlaced your fingers, press up from behind your shoulder blades. So kind of spread the shoulder blades apart and actively press your thoracic spine, which is the spinal column, like the spinal vertebrae that are attached to your ribs. Press that down actively into the ground as you press your hands towards the sky. Keep pressing into the feet. If you're feeling any pain in your knees, just walk your feet a little further forward. Deep breaths into the belly. So this is definitely active, but we should feel some nice opening and release on the back and in the upper shoulders and neck. I know if you're doing this class in the morning, that's where I tend to feel the most tightness in the morning. It won't feel as comfortable. There's one way it always feels a little awkward. Do that way. Same thing, push your hands up, press into your feet, slowly and lowly lift your hips away from the ground. Curl your tailbone towards the back of your knees and push your upper spine and mid-spine into the ground. So the core is lightly on, the glutes are, and relax. Good. All the way down. Take your arms out to the side with your palms up. Keep your hands in line with your shoulders. So you're in like a nice T shape. Press down through your feet again. Lift your hips up once more. Same thing. You want to keep the hips a little lower than we would maybe normally go. Imagine you have a block between your thighs. Tone the inner thighs. Press down through your feet. Once you feel the glutes have toned, try to keep that connection with your brain and then reach your arms out from your shoulders. So you feel like you're getting a stretch on your upper back and into your arms and shoulders. Just keep the head relaxing. Really reach through those arms. I'm even getting a little shake in my arms here. So it's pretty active. It should feel like a nice stretch. And then release all the way down. Good. We're going to come into just a little bit of core. Why we would do core in a relaxing class or in a stretch, and the muscles turn off and our posture gets bad, and that will really pull on our back muscles in a bad way. So we want to always take just a few minutes a day to make sure that we engage the core so that as we move throughout the day, the whole unit of the core is doing its work and not just your back. So hopefully we'll even get a little back stretch in these as well. So take your block, put it between your knee points. Feet stay on the ground in that same position. Hands behind your head. Make sure as you come up into a crunch that you're pressing your low back down into the ground and leading from your spine and not your neck. So you have to use your core muscles to bring you forward and not jut your chin up and bring your chin forward to get up, okay? So hands behind the head, squeeze in on the block between the knees and press the feet into the ground. Inhale, exhale, lift up from your core and then straighten your right arm forward. Just hold that. Try to come up off the shoulder blades, squeeze in on the block. You can point the left. Inhale, come down, switch hands. Exhale, come up. Reach the left arm forward, just in line with that same thigh. So left hand is in line with the left thigh. Squeeze in on the block, lift up off the shoulder blades, pull the belly down towards the ground. So you don't want to feel that your belly is jutting up to the sky. Inhale, down. We'll do that again. Exhale, come up. Reach the right arm forward in line with the right thigh. Squeeze the block. Lift up off the shoulder blades. Squeeze the belly down towards your spine. Good. Inhale and come down. Exhale, lift up. Reach from that right shoulder blade. So you're still getting a little activity moving from the shoulder blade. And then lift up a little more. Inhale, cross body twist here. Try to stay up off the left shoulder blade. The head is resting into that left hand. Again, moving and lifting from the core and not using my neck to come up here. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift up. Right arm reaches forward. Gently twist through your ribs across your body, reaching the left hand on the outside of the right leg. Lift up, squeeze in on the block, hold it, and then come down nice and slow. One more time, just like that, same thing. Really keep pressing into the low back and pressing your belly back towards your spine. Left hand stays behind the head, squeeze the block. Right arm forward, twist through your ribs, come off that shoulder blade, reach a little more with that right hand. Feel that burn in the belly, that's good. Bring it back, come down on an inhale. Exhale, lift up, reach, twist through the ribs. Left hand on the outside of the right leg, squeeze the block. Come up off the right shoulder blade. Keep the neck relaxed. Pull the belly down. Inhale and down. Good. Place the block off to the side. We're going to use it again here soon, so just keep it within, keep it near to your mat. Both hands behind the head this time. Interlace the fingers. I like to have my thumbs at the very base of my skull so I can really make sure that my neck is staying relaxed and I'm holding the bulk of the weight of my skull into my hands. Take your left knee in towards you and hinge at your hip. Place it down. Right knee in and down. Left knee in and down. Right knee down. Left knee down. Your hip joint so the femur comes towards you with a nice deep hip hinge and then foot back on the ground. I'm keeping the same angle in my thigh and in my knee the whole time. So it should just feel like a little door hinge, moving the knee in and out. And you want to feel that as you're holding the head up, the core is engaged. Inhale, exhale, lift up, come up a little higher if you'd like this time. Right knee in and down. Left knee down. Keep breathing. Right knee down. Left knee down. Right knee down. Left knee down. And relax. Inhale. Right knee in, down. Left knee down. Right knee down. Left knee down. Right knee down. Left knee down. And relax. Great job. Slide the left foot forward. Bring the right knee in at a 90-degree angle, keeping the right knee over the right hip. We're going to rotate through the femur here in the hip socket. So you should feel in your right hip, imagine the head of the femur in the hip socket getting a nice little massage and loosening up anything in there. You can always use your hands for this one. I like to keep my hands on my hips. So we'll internally rotate, bringing the right knee in and the foot out, and then foot in and knee out. And just nice and slow and controlled. Knee in, foot out, external rotation, knee out, foot in. So a couple like that, nice and slow. If you feel like you're really driving this movement from your ankle, then just keep your ankle still and use your hand to guide your femur in, and that's what we want. I like to keep my thumb on my ASIS, which is that little hip point on the front of your pelvis, and then I'll keep my fingers on the outside of my right glute so I can feel that that muscle is really working, and that means I'm rotating from the right place here. Good, other side. Stretch the right leg out, left knee in. Keep that right foot flexed, slightly pressing into the ground. Same thing, moving from the femur, always option to use the hands to guide it in the beginning if you feel like you're really moving your foot around a lot. So it should be nice and tight. And just, I like to call it like flossing out your hip joint. I know it's kind of funny, but we can kind of get some crinkly, Rice Krispie feeling type of stuff in the hip joint. That's usually some stuck connective tissue and maybe some air pockets and stuff in there. So we want to really massage out that joint. So we're going to do one more. Good. Awesome. All right, grab your block again. Roll onto your left hip. keep your left knee at a 90-degree angle underneath you. Take your left arm out long, take the block on the highest setting and place it under your right knee here. So you're doing a little supine twist. So left knee and right knee are both in like a 90-degree angle. And you can kind of adjust the block as you settle into the twist. Chest a bit deeper to the ceiling. So we'll stay here for a few breaths. This one should feel really nice. A little bit more towards the ground. Breathe into the right hip and the right low back. Imagine you're kind of puffing up in your upper back as you breathe into your lungs there. That'll feel like a nice extension of the spine, and you'll feel some length in between the vertebrae a little bit on that upper back. Take one more breath here. And then we'll switch to the other side with the knee in a 90-degree angle. Bring your left knee across you, up on the high setting of the block, left arm long. I like to just gaze to the sky. Some people like to gaze towards the opposite hand. Just do whatever feels best for your neck. And again, you can adjust the block as needed as you deepen into the twist. And just take a few deep breaths. Make sure you're breathing 360 degrees into the core. So belly, into the back, into the sides, the lungs, the chest, the upper back. And we'll come into a kneeling position. We're going to do a couple more things before we get into the full flow of the class. So stand up on your knees here. I like to make sure that I'm squeezing my glutes, even though we're doing a more relaxed class today. You don't want to sink your hips back and crunch your low back. We're trying to take care of that area right now. So you have to keep a little engagement in the glutes, even though we're still trying to stay calm and a little lower energy. So lengthen the tailbone down towards the back of the knees. Pull your shoulders lightly back and pull your belly in. Arms out to the side in a field goal shape. So I'll have my elbow just in line with my shoulder here. Big inhale, exhale, just twist from your ribs to the side. So we'll go through that a few times. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. So this is coming from the core, not from the hips. So watch on this left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. So I'm not turning my hips to get further, keeping my hips right over my knees and turning from the core. So you should feel the shoulder blade, the scapula on this left side pull back towards your spine a bit more. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Good. Keep your feet as is for now. Grab your block. Place your block out in front of you on the low setting. Step your right foot forward, and so both of your knees are in a 90-degree angle. Same thing, keep this left glute lightly toned. So don't let it go to sleep so that your hips fall forward and you shorten your low back. Keep the tailbone pulling down and the glute engaged. Bring your left hand to the block. Inhale, reach your right arm to the sky and twist through your ribs again here. Once you've gotten the arm up, pull this left shoulder blade onto the back and let your head relax. So my left ear is literally touching my left shoulder, and I'm reaching actively up through that right hand. I'm going to feel a nice stretch on the right side of the neck and into the right shoulder. Just breathe deeply, keep pulling the ribs in. So we're keeping the spine long. That left glute is still lightly toned. One more breath. Good. The same thing on the other side. Step your left foot forward. Both knees are in a 90-degree angle. Lightly tone that right glute. Lengthen the tailbone to the ground. That also will hopefully help you get a little stretch, and then get into that as well. So squeeze that right glute lightly. Hinge forward from your hips. Bring your right hand on the block. Push down. Rotate from your ribs. Lift your left arm up. Pull the right shoulder onto your back and let your right ear relax to your right shoulder. Reach actively up through those left fingertips and feel into that nice stretch all the way down from the ear to the shoulder, up into the front of the shoulder on that left side. We'll take one more deep breath. Really breathe up into these left lungs so you get that nice ballooning effect and you get a little deeper stretch on the muscles in between the ribs. Good. Back up into the center, hands on your hips. Step your left foot back. Move the block off to the side. Bring your forearms onto the ground. Keep your elbows underneath your shoulders here. Relax your head so that you're bringing your chin a little towards your chest, gazing back at your legs, and your neck can just really release here. Actively press into the elbows. You can do a nice stretch in the shoulders and into the backs of the legs. Totally fine to stay on your knees. This is a little demanding, but it feels like a really nice stretch after all that. We'll take one more deep breath. Good. And just bring the knees back down to the ground if you have them up, or just walk your hands back. Keep walking your hands back. Lift your knees up from the ground. Bring your heels down and bring your belly to your thighs. So here's that transition again. If you were here, come up to the hands, lift up through your knees, walk your hands back, heels down. So just a nice, gentle forward fold. Heels are down, and we're able to get our hands to the ground because we're bending the knees and hinging from the hips. So we're not straightening the knees out. We're keeping them nice and bent. Lengthen through your spine, and then you can bring your ribs to your thighs and relax your head down. Clasp opposite elbows and just feel, it almost feels like a wave of release. When you finally let the head relax, you should just imagine your tension rolling off your spine and out of your body. Clasp opposite elbows, sway side to side if you want. You can shake your head no and yes. Just kind of release all of that a little bit more. One more deep breath. Feels so nice. Good. Then we'll come back to our knees here. All right, make sure your block is nearby. We're going to get into a little flow now. So we'll do everything on one side, and then we'll continue it on the other. Stand up on your knees. Take your block towards the left side of your mat. Squeeze the glutes. You can keep the toes tucked or not. I like to keep them tucked because I find that helps me engage my glutes a little easier. Pull the core in, step the right foot forward. So we've already done this once, but it's really nice and freeing, so we'll do it again. Pull this belly on the left side up, squeeze that left glute. Feel into that little stretch on the front of the left thigh. Hinge forward, bring your left hand to the block. Twist from your torso and ribs, and then reach your right arm up. Push down into the left hand. Let your left ear relax to your left shoulder. Shoulder and right neck. Take a deep breath. Keep that left glute engaged and keep pulling the belly in. Good. Release. Come back up. Right foot still forward. Place your right hand on your right thigh. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Just hold this here for a second. Squeeze that left glute. Pull the left knee, the left up, front of the thigh up. Reach up from under your armpit on that left side. And then we'll tip to the right. Keep the glute on, the pelvis nice and neutral. You can let your head relax. Just get a nice side stretch here. Come up. Bring your knuckles together like this in front of your chest. Big inhale, pull your shoulders back. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. So it's like what we were doing this earlier on our knees, just a little different. And hopefully we get a little extra stretch on the front of this left hip. Exhale to the right. Keep pulling the shoulder blades onto the back. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. From here, we're going to come into a side lunge and bring our block with us. So just grab the block. You can use it to help you lift your knee, pivot your feet so they're parallel, and bend into your left knee. Send your hips way far back. Use the block on the left and the right inner thigh. And we should feel a nice deep hip hinge on our left leg. From here, so it's kind of like a cat-cow, but mostly in our upper back and between our shoulder blades. So release the chest down, soften it in the same side lunge position. Inhale, shoulder blades together. Exhale, push them apart and chin to chest. Inhale, shoulder blades together. Exhale, up, chin to chest. Good. Breathe in your right knee, pivot your feet again, come back to your mat, foot facing forward, and both knees to the ground. Walk off to the side. Keep your hips over your knees and walk your hands forward. You want this to be as much like a kneeling downward dog as possible. So we're not going for the pose where you sink your chest way down. We want to stay lifted. Like you could lift your feet and be in a down dog at any second, but just with the knees down today, just to keep it a little bit more relaxed. But we want to feel that we're still getting lots of length through our spine and on the sides of the body. Walk the hands over to the left. Really reach through those right fingertips. And then over to the other side. So other side. Really reach through those left fingertips. You can see on this side now I'm getting this nice stretch on these left ribs here. Good. Inhale back to the center and come into a tabletop position. Let's do a couple cat-cows here. Inhale, drop the chest down, belly spills down, tailbone lifts up, gaze gently ahead. Exhale, round, curl the chin to the chest. Inhale, cow pose, shoulder blades together, gaze ahead, keep the elbows slightly bent. Exhale, round, press your spine to the sky, chin to chest. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring your knees together and then bring the outside of your right hip to the ground. So you should look like this. Right hand is still on the ground. Step your left foot over top of your right knee. From here, let your right shoulder come up toward your ear and really sink this right side down towards the ground. You should feel like a really nice release on this right side of the body. And probably a little hip stretch as well. Just breathe nice and deep here. I like to bring my chin to my chest. That's a little extra stretch. Oh, feels so good. One more breath. This one's great. And then we'll come up. From here, we're going to go, where are we going to go? Let's see. Oh, yes. All right, back into a tabletop. Grab your block again. Bring it back towards the back side of your mat. Same thing we did as before. Toes are tucked. Walk your hands back, lift your knees, and come up into that forward fold. Bring the block underneath your hand, whatever height you want, or no block, just an option. Place your right hand on the block, twist through your ribs, and lift your left arm up. You can relax the right ear towards the right shoulder. I like to straighten one leg here and bend the other. So this side we would straighten left and bend right knee. And just relax. It's a big, and then switch it out. So you need to bend the knee if you straightened it. Left hand is down on the block or the ground. Right arm to the sky. Either keep both knees bent or straighten the right leg and relax your left ear towards your shoulder. Breathe deeply into your belly and into your lungs. Feeling into all that sensation. Good. One more breath. And relax. Okay. We're going to do the other side. Okay. Bring the block forward. Knees back to the ground. Block on the right side of your mat here. Stand up on the knees again. And just reposition yourself. So we just did a lot of more kind of relaxing, slow stuff. So just make sure you don't throw yourself into the pose on this, like moving forward. So reconnect to your pelvis, engage your glutes. Step your left foot forward. If you'd like, keep the left toes tucked or not, but just make sure you can turn on that right glute. First, we'll just lift the right arm up to the sky. Squeeze that right glute, feel that stretch in the right hip. You gotta really pull the belly in as well. That's where you feel the connection from the psoas, from your femur into your spine. If you kind of pull up through your belly, you wanna feel a nice stretch there. On your exhale, hinge forward at your hips. Bring your right hand to the block. Roll your right shoulder onto your back and lift your left arm to the sky. Good. Just relax the ear, reach up through the fingers. Keep that right glute on. I always forget here. Keep reaching up, relaxing through your neck. So that'll give you the biggest stretch on this side here. One more breath. Good. Back to the center. Come up. Squeeze that right glute to help you come up. Left hand on the left thigh. Reach the right arm up. Big inhale. Exhale over to the left. Squeeze that right glute. Pull the belly in. Feel that stretch on the left side. You can let your neck relax here as well. Bring the knuckles together in front of your sternum. Pull the shoulder blades back. Squeeze the right glute. Inhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Keeping that left shoulder blade pulling onto the back. Inhale and exhale. Good. Okay, from here we're going to the side lunge. So I'll be facing away from you, but it's a good angle to see the spine move as well. So bring the block with you, remember. Lift the back knee, pivot on the feet, come to the side. Place the block however high or low you'd like. I like the medium height. Bend into that right knee, send your hips back and flex up that right leg. Spine is long, press in between the shoulders. Exhale, press up and press the upper back to the sky and chin to chest. Inhale down, shoulder blades together. Exhale up and chin to chest. Keep some weight back in the heels. Inhale down, exhale up, and chin to chest. Good. All right, come back to the front. Take the block with you. You can kind of keep it at the side. Right knee down, left knee back. So you're in a tabletop. Keep the hips over the knees and walk the hands forward. Stay lifted here, so don't sink all the way down. Keep up as if you were doing a downward dog. Press into your hands, reach up and back through your spine. So your scapula should glide, they should elevate. Walk your hands over to the left, keep your hips where they're at. Center and over to the right. So again, hips are staying the same, and I'm just laterally flexing through the spinal column and reaching those left fingertips really far forward. Keep your ears between your biceps. It's going to help make sure you're not collapsing in your shoulders too much. Good. Back to the center and into a tabletop. 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, chest drops, belly drops, tailbone lifts, gaze towards the top of your mat. Exhale, chin to chest, round the spine, press through your hands. Inhale, drop, belly drops, tailbone lifts, gaze towards the top of your mat. Pull the shoulder blades onto your back. Exhale. Good. Bring your knees together towards the right side of your mat. Bring your left hip to the ground. Left fingertips, so you're in this kind of configuration here. And then just let your left side drip down towards the ground. So the left shoulder will come up, and we're getting a nice stretch on this left side, and then just let the head come to the chest. Deep breaths here. One more breath. Tabletop, and same thing. Bring the block with you. You can slide it towards the back of the mat. Tuck the toes, walk the hands back, bring the knees up and heels to the ground. Belly to the thighs. Blocking underneath you again. Same thing as before. Right hand in the left leg and bend the right knee. Good. Awesome. Switch sides. Left hand down. Left knee bends. Right leg straightens if you'd like. Inhale all the way up. Relax your head. Good. All the way down. Okay, block off to the side. Bring your knees back to the ground. We're gonna do just a quick little sequence here for the spine. Toes together, knees wide. Press back to a child's pose. So your knees, hips, and ankles are in flexion. Nice long spine, and reach your arms forward. Try not to collapse into your arms too much. I like to keep my hands nice and active here, so my shoulder blades are in a neutral position on my back. On our inhale, we're going to come into a cat pose, but our legs won't change. So inhale, cat pose. So round the spine, chin to chest. Exhale, cow pose. So that same thing we were doing earlier, just knees in a slightly different position. Inhale up into cat, and exhale, hips to heels and arms long. So we'll go through that 2 more times. Inhale, cat pose, chin to chest. Exhale, cow pose. Make a U shape with your spine. Inhale, cat. And exhale, glide back, arms long to child's pose. Take a breath. Inhale up to cat pose, chin to chest, round the spine. Exhale, cow pose. So let your chest sink between your arms, and then lift your tailbone up and pull your shoulder blades back. Exhale, round, belly to the spine, and exhale, back to child's pose. Walk your hands over to the left. So your hips don't change. This is a lateral movement of the spine. Reach the right arm really far forward. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. So I'm almost bringing my entire right side and right armpit to touch my whole right thigh. So you should feel that much lateral flexion in your spine, and you can relax your forehead down. Really reach through those left fingertips. Nice big stretch on this left side of the body here. Back to the center. Lift your hips just a little bit, but keep pressing your hips kind of back and your femurs back. Little lift in the arms. Slide your right arm underneath of your left. Bring the left ear to the ground. Or right ear, sorry, rather. Reach the left arm forward. Right arm out. A nice little spinal twist with some nice hip flexion. Good. Slide it back. Come up and other side. So left arm slides underneath. Now we bring the left ear down. Right arm is long. Press into the right fingers. Reach and twist from the ribs. Deep breaths, especially into your back here. Try to breathe into this left low back and left ribs. Forward. Bring your feet off to the side, and we're going to come onto our backs. Make sure your strap is nearby. We're going to end with a couple stretches here. All right, so use your core, nice and slow, come onto the back. So make sure you have a loop in your strap. That's not totally necessary, but it just makes it a little easier for the little sequence we're going to do to keep like an even distribution of weight. Put your left foot on the ground with the left knee up. Bring your right knee in and slide the strap or the band or sweatshirt or whatever you're using underneath the ball of the foot. So you don't want it on your toes and you don't want it on the arch of the foot. It's not a huge deal. It's just as far as alignment and pushing into the proper part of the foot and keeping your ankle in neutral alignment, that tends to be the best position. Press up into the strap to level out even out your ankle there. Keep the strap in your right hand and just pull the right toes back towards the face. You can keep a small bend in your right knee there. Keep the shoulders relaxing on the back and breathe deeply into your belly. So we're just getting some length here. Now we're really winding down. We've built some really nice heat and length in the body. So now we can do these more cool down and longer hold stretches without as much risk of injury. I like to keep my stretches, even when I'm relaxing, a little bit active. So if you'd like that, you just gently press up into the strap and pull back on the strap at the same time. And you might feel a little extra activity into your calves, and I like to get that. Especially if you're really flexible, adding some activity can really help you with that balance of strength and mobility in your body. One more breath. Then slide the left leg forward. Keep the left foot active. So flex the left foot and press down into the back of the left leg. Here's where I find that the loop helps in the buckle, or you can tie like the sleeves of your sweatshirt together, or just kind of cinch the band if you're using a resistance band. So I like to hold like right at the buckle and then take my leg out to the side. Keep your elbow bent and then bring your elbow to the ground. Make sure you're turning and rotating from your hips here. So we're not letting our body look like this in this pose. We should feel that the left hip is still on the ground, left shoulder is on the ground, and we're just moving the leg out from the hip socket. You can bend your knee as much as you need to here, and you can be much further up. Take one more breath. You should feel a nice stretch on that inner thigh on the right leg. Inhale back to the center. And then now we'll take it across the body. So we'll switch the strap into our left hand and just let it roll across. This time it's okay if that right hip lifts away from the ground. Just try to keep the right shoulder on the earth. So I have a nice little kickstand here with my left arm. I'm holding around that buckle again. And I like to kind of pull up with my hand and then lengthen this right hip forward. So it's a little bit of a rolling action, and that lengthens that right side of the body. And you might feel this more in your sciatic nerve, which is that big nerve in your leg that can tend to give people a lot of problems in their low back or in their pure. Inhale and come back to the center. So just reposition your hips into a neutral position. Bend your knee. I like to squeeze my right knee in. So just give it a little squeeze and switch sides. So start with the right foot down and the knee up. Bring the left knee in. Put the strap around the ball of the left foot. So again, under, like basically at the base of the left toes. Straps in the left hand. Reach the left leg up to the sky. Pull back on the left toes. Relax your shoulders. We're cooling down so just try to make sure you're keeping your face and neck and jaw relaxed. We can hold a lot of residual tension there, even when we start to relax the rest of the body. So this is a nice place to start scanning the face and the neck to make sure we're releasing any tension in there as well. You can kind of wiggle your jaw, open and close your mouth. Get some nice stretches in there. I like to do that. One more breath. Pull those toes back. Again, if you want, push up into the strap and pull down at the same time. Might feel a little extra on the calf there. And then slide the right leg forward. Flex the right foot. Squeeze the muscles on the back of the leg. And then open the leg out to the left. So same thing, making sure we're not moving from the pelvis or the spine, but keeping the pelvis pointing up and the belly pointing up so the right shoulder can stay on the ground. I have a nice, again, little kickstand with my left arm, and I'm kind of pushing out and up on the strap here. You can be up here. You can give yourself more slack on the strap if you're more here. That's fine. Just try to move from the femur and the hip socket. So it could look like back to the center. Switch the strap to the right hand if you want. You can shift your hips like I just did, and then roll onto the right hip. So right shoulder, left shoulder are down. I'm pressing out through that left leg, and same thing, if I want to really feel this in that sciatic nerve, try to roll that left hip forward. So you get a little more space right here in this lower part of the side body and the low back. And you should feel maybe a little bit more sensation around the outside of the hip and into the leg here. Inhale and come back to the center. Bend your knee, take the strap off, and place it off to the side. So we're done with the strap now. Bring the left knee in, interlace the hands on top, and squeeze the left knee in towards you. Relax the shoulders onto the back. Good. All right, we're gonna take one last couple little stretches here. Bring your left foot, we'll start with the right. Bring your right foot on top of, just try to lightly interlace your hands behind. If that's a lot of effort, try it without the hands and just see if that can allow you to relax your shoulders on the ground a bit more. So either option, but just do whichever one helps you feel the most relaxed here. Take 2 more deep breaths. Good. From here, we're going to take a couple different options just for fun, just so you can see where you could go with this if you'd like. If you want, you can start to take this into a nice twist. So I like to bring my legs all the way down, but you can see I'm still keeping my right shoulder on the ground here. So if you're starting to come up too much, just keep it back here. You can still do a twist, but keep your left foot on the ground. And just use it as a little kickstand and just twist from the hips. So chest, shoulders, and upper ribs are on the ground the whole time. So if you can't come all the way over, that's fine. Go for that. One more deep breath. I love this one for the hip. It feels amazing for me. Then from here, this is a little funky, but I love this stretch. So just an option. Definitely don't have to do this if you don't feel comfortable. From here, if you'd like, continue to roll onto your left shoulder, twist some more, and come up onto your forearms. So I just kind of unwound my spine the opposite way here. So legs are literally in the same position, but now just on my forearms, and you can relax your head. This is just a nice different stretch on the thigh and on the outer hip here. I think it feels really good in the abdominals as well. To come out, just come to the side. So chest faces the direction of your legs. Slide the left arm long. Help yourself to the ground. Open the right arm up. You're back in that twist. And then come to the center with the legs. And we'll switch sides. Left foot on top of the right knee. Either stay there without your hands and just open your arms to the sides, or gently interlace your hands behind your right knee. Either option is fine. Just make sure you're not in like a hunched position to do this. I'd rather it be more active in your spine on the ground so you can really move from your hips here. And then if you want, you can take that twist. So how we got into it again, you can come all the way over and just move from your spine and allow it to come to the ground. So my left foot's literally on the ground with the knee up. You can keep most, if not all, that left shoulder on the ground. So we'll hold here for one more breath. Love this one on the hip. Take this into that funky little twist just for fun. So just keep rolling. Come up. Roll onto your forearms. So the legs are in the same position. Just relax your head. Good. Come up nice and slow. So I just use my left hand on the ground here and both legs down. Good. All right, couple last stretches. Take your arms, bend them into this little, kind of like a Y shape, but not out and up as much, more with the elbows bent and the chest open. Bring the chin over towards your left shoulder, and then just take your left hand on the back part of the crown of your head and gently pull your chin towards your left shoulder. My chin is almost touching my left collarbone here, and I have that right arm still reaching out. And I get this nice stretch from the behind my right ear all the way down the front and top portion of my right shoulder. Good. We'll do the other side. So chin over to the right. Bring your arms out in that same shape. And then if you want, right hand grabs the back portion of the crown of your head, and then just gently pull the chin in towards the right shoulder and collarbone. Good. Back to the center. Interlace your hands again, right? That same type of thing where your thumbs are resting at the base of your skull, your occiput muscles. Bring your elbows to point up, lift your chin up just a little, pull your chin towards your chest, and then push your skull and your neck back towards the back of your mat. So chin's in, and I'm just pushing my throat kind of back, my chin back. And that's why I sound so funny, but you're going to get a nice stretch in the occipital muscles. You can rotate your chin side to side. Good. And relax. Arms out in that same position. Bring your knees and feet together. And last thing here, just drop the knees side to side. So just a little massage for the back of the pelvis, little spinal twist. Start to really calm down, recenter your breath. Good, and then back to the center. So we're going to come to Shavasana now. If you want, you can pause the video and go grab and just put it underneath my knees. So if you want, you can go grab a pillow. Totally can use some pillows from your couch or something as well. But just lay back down onto the back. I make sure the back portion of the crease of the knees is on the top part of the bolster. And then open the arms out, and I like to tuck my shoulder blades underneath so the chest is really open and you get some length in the pectoral muscles. Gaze up towards the ceiling and relax your breath. You can stay here as long as you would like. Just start to scan the body and notice how you're feeling from the beginning of class to now. See if you can remember as we started class with our breath, if you remember those areas where you felt extra tight and where you were holding any tension. See if your breath is just moving a little easier now. One of my favorite benefits of yoga and functional movement is how we can really let our breaths help our bodies to detoxify better, helps boost our immune system, gets in a safe space, and helps us to process things more clearly. So even if the only thing that you would take away from this is just a deeper, fuller breath, know that that is more than enough and will serve your body in many ways. We'll end this time on our backs by just taking 3 deep breaths in through our nose and an open mouth exhale out of our mouth. And I want you to really open the jaw wide and stretch out the jaw muscles on that exhale, okay? So big inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose You can even stick your tongue out on the exhale. That really helps the jaw relax. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Arms behind you. Stretch nice and long. Bring your knees up in towards you. If you have the pillows underneath you, you can just kind of push them forward. Roll onto one side and come into a fetal position, bringing your knees up in towards your chest and using your bottom arm as a pillow. Just take one last moment of stillness and silence here, opening your heart and your mind to receive the bounty of this practice. Place your hands on the earth and slowly come up to a seat. And just reach up through the crown of your head so your spine is nice and long, and just notice any residual energy in the body. I like to relate it to a kind of feeling a percolation in the body. You feel these little bubbles of energy within us, just engaging our breath and softening in our bodies. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. It's been an honor to teach you, and I hope that this class serves you in many ways. Namaste.